how are you all? I hope you are fine and safe at your homes. So as you know, yesterday we have started with the reading part of chapter number 2 of our geography. So today we are going to proceed further. So let's quickly recall whatever we have done yesterday. So we have started lesson 2 of geography, the reading portion, and we have covered first the shape of the earth, that is geoid, spherical shape. Then after that what we have done, if you remember, yes, we have discussed what is a globe. Then we have done something about North Pole and South Pole. That we have done what are latitudes. How many latitudes are there? We have done it is 81 including equator. Then we have done longitudes. How many longitudes are there? Yes, meridians of longitude. It is how many? Yes, I am waiting for your answer. It is 180, 90 and 90. Okay, then after that we have discussed some important parallels. That is Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn. Then we have also discussed Arctic Circle, and degrees also we have discussed, and then we have discussed Antarctic Circle. So where are they located? In the North Pole, in the South Pole. We have discussed Tropic of Cancer, it is in the North Pole. Tropic of Capricorn, it is in the South Pole. Then we have Arctic Circle just below the North Pole. Antarctic Circle just above the South Pole. So then we have discussed about the various heat zones that we will be doing today. I have not discussed it in detail, but then I have just introduced that just based on the slanting and vertical rays of the sun. So we have these heat zones in these parallels. So we have three. Number one, torrid zone, that means very hot due to the direct or vertical rays of the sun. Then we have done temperate or moderate zone I have introduced due to the slanting rays of the sun. And then we have done frigid zone, that means frigid means cold due to the slanting and very less rays of the sun that falls on the places, and that is why they remain cold. So today our main focus will be on this, and we will be discussing the degrees of this with the help of the diagram. So are you all ready? So let's start with these today and keep on underlining the important points that I will be telling you, because on that you can get an objective question from the book. So let's start it first. So we have completed till the multiple choice questions that you have on page number 117. So we will be continuing with the heat zones of the earth. Let's see what is important in this. The above mentioned parallels, that is the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north, and the Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degree south. So yesterday also I have shown you this diagram if you remember. So we have Tropic of Cancer, we have Tropic of Capricorn. Apart from that, we have Arctic Circle in the north and we have Antarctic Circle in the south. So line of equator divides it into two, that is northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. This also we have discussed yesterday. So today we are going to see the heat zones. As you can see in the diagram that is given in your book, see different heat zones are shown. So we have Tropic of Cancer, that is equator, that is assumed to be 0 degree. So it is the line of equator in the middle. Then just above which, if you can see this portion in green color, and just this portion of green color just below the equator, that is the portion that lies here, it is known as torrid zone, because here the rays of the sun are direct. So it is very hot, and that is why we call it torrid zone. Then just above it you can see the Tropic of Cancer, and the area which lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic, it is known as temperate zone due to the slanting rays of the sun. Similarly, the area between the Tropic of Cancer and between the Antarctic Circle, it is also known as south temperate zone because it falls in the region of south, down, just below the equator. So it is south temperate zone, and above the equator it is north temperate zone between the Tropic of Cancer and between the Tropic of Capricorn. So this green portion is torrid, whereas south and north temperate zones we have between the Tropic of Cancer and Antarctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle, and Tropic of Cancer, and we have Arctic Circle, that is north temperate zone. And then the area between the North Pole and Arctic Circle is referred to as frigid zone, but it is north frigid zone because we have North Pole at the above. Then the area between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole, it is known as south frigid zone. So let's study it today in detail. So the places and cities that lie in different heat zones have different types of climate. Obviously, it will have either a hot climate or moderate climate, or it can have even a cold climate. It is so because different heat zones receive different amounts of sunlight due to the spherical shape of the earth. Because the shape of the earth is spherical and keeps on rotating on its axis, so that is why we have different types of rays that are falling on the different places of the sun. Therefore, those places that receive the greatest amount of sunlight are hotter, obviously, than the places that receive less amount of sunlight from the sun. So we have torrid zone, we have temperate zone, and we have frigid zone. So let's study individually about these zones now. The word torrid means hot. Please underline. All places located between the Tropic of Cancer. Can you see the Tropic of Cancer? And the Tropic of Capricorn. So whatever places are here between the Tropic of Cancer and between the Tropic of Capricorn, that means this green area, as you can see. So here we have the torrid zone. So these places will be very, very hot, that are between the Tropic of Cancer and between the Tropic of Capricorn. So underline, the places between the Tropic of Cancer and between the Tropic of Capricorn experience vertical rays of the sun, or you can even say the direct rays of the sun, as I have shown you yesterday. So these receive the direct rays of the sun. Suppose this is our earth. So here the rays of the sun are direct. So it is hot region, torrid zone. Okay. Next, this region receives the maximum amount of sunlight and is called the torrid zone, and that is why it is known as torrid zone. Why it is known as torrid zone? Again, an important question, because it receives the maximum amount of heat and light from the sun, and this climate is very, very hot over here. So this is something about torrid zone. You can even get a separate question on torrid zone. Then you can have a separate question on temperate zone also. Let us see. There are two temperate zones, that is, as I have discussed, the north temperate zone that lies above the equator and the south temperate zone that lies in the southern part, that is below the equator. But what are the regions? Let us see. Please mark the north temperate zone. First of all, underline there are two temperate zones, the north temperate zone and the south temperate zones. These zones receive slanting rays of the sun, so they receive less heat. So I have already discussed, when you receive that slanting rays, so there will be less heat and light from the sun. The north temperate zone lies in the northern hemisphere between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle. So we have here Tropic of Cancer and this Arctic Circle in the north region above the equator. So this area which is shown in yellow color in your books, it will have what? North temperate zone. So it is the area between the Tropic of Cancer, that is in the north region, and in the Arctic Circle, between the Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer, which both of them lies in the northern part. So northern hemisphere, this area of yellow color, it will have north temperate zone. Similarly, the area that is there between the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the south. So again, this portion, these places will have moderate climate, or we can say temperate zone. This is the area of temperate zone. Moderate temperature is over there, just like we have in India. Okay. So these zones receive slanting rays of the sun and they receive less heat. The north temperate zone lies in the northern hemisphere between the Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle. Please underline. So this much you need to remember, where is the north temperate zone. So it lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle. So you also need to remember where is the south temperate zone, between the Tropic of Capricorn and between the Antarctic Circle. The area we have south temperate zone is located in the southern hemisphere between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle. And Antarctic Circle is always at 66.5 degree. This also you need to remember, and it is followed by the symbol S because it is in the south region. And similarly we have Arctic Circle, which is also 66.5 degree, but it is represented by N as it lies in the northern hemisphere. Then Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, these are 23.5 degree north and south respectively, and equator is always assumed to be 0 degrees. So this much you need to remember, and when you will have a question based on this heat zones, you will be drawing this diagram also. So when you have diagram based on parallels, we will be drawing this in the note. Okay. I hope these two are clear. Coming to the frigid zone, underline the meaning of frigid. Frigid means cold. Please underline. The places at the poles that remain frozen throughout the year come in the frigid zone. So as I have shown you in the figure, this portion that is just below the North Pole, this purple area, if you can see, this is not frigid zone. And similarly in the south region, this area in the purple just below the Antarctic Circle, it is south frigid zone, and this is above the Arctic Circle. So it is north frigid zone, and below the Antarctic Circle it is south frigid zone, that is at the pole. So here it is very cold because the rays of the sun, they reach maximum time to reach here, and they are very slanting. So it is very less heat and light that is reached here, and that is why the places are frozen throughout the year. Frozen means covered with ice. So that is why we call this zone as frigid zone or cold. You might have seen the freezer in your refrigerators at home. So from there only we have received this word frigid. Freeze. Okay. There are two frigid zones similarly. The one is north frigid zone because it lies in the northern hemisphere region, and we have south frigid zone because it lies in the southern hemisphere or near the south pole. The north frigid zone, now just underline the areas I have told you, lies between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole. So this is North Pole and this is Arctic Circle. So this you can see, and this area between this North Pole and this Arctic Circle, it is known as North frigid zone. Similarly underline the area between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole is also known as South frigid zone. So this you need to underline and you also need to learn. The south frigid zone lies between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole. Both frigid zones are located at the greatest distance from the sun. So I have already told you there is a great variation in the distance between the sun and the earth, and that is why these areas receive extreme slanting rays of the sun, due to which it is very cold area. So this was something about the three zones. Now there is one important question in that yellow paragraph. Please underline. Africa is the only continent through which Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn and the equator, the three major parallels pass. So it is the only country through which these three parallels are passing, otherwise only one parallel is passing through many of the countries. So this is very important question. Which is the continent through which all these three lines of parallels are passing? So it is Africa. Okay. Then there are again some multiple choice questions. Let's come to that. The zone that lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. We have done Tropic of Cancer, we have done Tropic of Capricorn. So what is this zone called here? It is options: frigid zone, temperate zone or torrid zone. So what it is called? It is torrid zone because of very hot. Okay. Total number of heat zones of the earth are 2, 3, 4. How many heat zones are there? We have already discussed 3. So it is option number B, that is 3 heat zones. Okay. I hope this much is clear to you all. So when you will go through once, the concept will be more clear. And you have already seen the video, so I don't think that there is any problem. And it is very easy also. Just you need to keep the picture in your mind. Where is Antarctic Circle, where is Arctic Circle, where is Tropic of Capricorn, and where is Tropic of Cancer, and line of equator, you all know it is in the center, dividing the earth into two parts. Just keep the picture in mind and then you will know where are the different zones. Okay. Then coming to the meridians or longitudes. Now see, longitudes or meridians we have already done. What are longitudes? Are a set of imaginary lines running from the North Pole to the South Pole. So we have already seen what are meridians or longitude. Here we have North Pole, here we have South Pole, here we have line of equator. So these imaginary lines that are running from the North Pole to the South Pole, these are known as lines of meridians, or they are also known as longitudes, that run vertically from the North Pole to the South Pole. So these are the lines of meridians. Please underline. They are the imaginary lines running from the North to the South Pole. These are known as meridians or longitudes. They are used as points of reference for locating places in the east and the west. So why we need these imaginary lines? We have already discussed. They are very, very necessary if we have to locate a place on the earth somewhere. Okay. The meridian passing through Greenwich. Please underline, very important question. A place few kilometers east of London in UK is known as 0-degree meridian. So Greenwich is a place that we have assumed to be 0 degrees, and it is a place near London in UK. So it is known as Greenwich and it is assumed to be 0 degrees. Actually the longitude of a place, and it is also known as prime meridian. So this center line we have already seen is assumed to be prime meridian, and it is also our line of Greenwich, which is a place in UK in London. Okay. Actually the longitude of a place is the angular distance of that place lying east or west of prime meridian. So it is just the angular distance. So it makes an angular distance like this. Okay. The prime meridian divides the globe into eastern and the western hemisphere. So this prime meridian, this line of prime meridian, it divides the earth into two halves. Here we have east, here we have west. So this portion is known as western hemisphere, and this portion of the earth is known as eastern hemisphere. So it divides the earth into two halves. As we have North Pole, the lines of latitudes divided into two parts, that is northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, whereas line of meridian divides it into eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. For example, if a person is in the eastern hemisphere, if the person is here in the eastern hemisphere, then his or her longitude is measured in degrees east. So if you are here, then your distance will be measured in east. If one is in the western hemisphere, then his longitude is measured in the degrees of west. So obviously, then the degrees will be mentioned in the this much. Suppose 70 degree west, 80 degrees east. So this way we need to mention the distance of that place. Okay. There are 180 meridians to the east and 180 meridians to the west side of prime meridian. So total how many meridians are there? It is 180 to this side and 180 to this side. So total of 360 meridians. How many lines of meridian are there? It is total 360. This we have already discussed yesterday. Please underline. Very important question. How many total meridians are there? Okay. At the equator, the distance between two meridians is the greatest, that is about 111 kilometer. This also underline please. So what is the distance here? It is 111 kilometer and it is the longest distance at the equator. This we have read yesterday. The distance between the meridians decreases as one travels towards the pole. So as we travel from equator towards the pole, so this distance keeps on decreasing. If we move towards the North Pole, the distance decreases. If we move from the equator to the South Pole, again the distance decreases. So all the meridians meet at the pole. So all these meridians, as you can see, these, here we have North Pole, here we have South Pole. This is prime meridian. So all the meridians, they meet at the pole. So this way they are meeting at the poles. You can see this. So these meridians, they meet at the North Pole and they meet at the South. Please underline. Okay. Then there is one important question in that small yellow paragraph. Eratosthenes. Who was he now? Let us see. Please underline the name Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes was a Greek geographer who first of all came with the concept of latitudes and longitudes. He only gave us the imaginary lines, what we call today as latitudes and longitudes. So it can be a question, who gave the concept of latitudes and longitudes? So what will be your answer? It is Eratosthenes. Okay. So system of longitudes and latitudes was invented by him to locate places on the earth. He was the first person to calculate the circumference of the earth. So I have already given you the measurement of the circumference of the earth. So the distance of the earth, the circumference, the diameter of the first earth was first of all given and measured by him. He also coined the term geography, and then he also gave you the term of geography. So he is very important. So based on him only we come to know how to locate a place on a globe, and even the term geography was given by him. So what is the name of the person? Let's revise once again. It is Eratosthenes, and you have to learn the spellings also. Now, how to locate a place on the globe? Let us quickly read it, although we have learned it very nicely in the video. Look at the globe given on page number 116. So let's refer back to page number 116. So let's read what is there. The latitudes and longitudes are drawn upon it. So you can see this is globe. These are the lines of latitude since they are parallel lines, and these are the lines of longitude since they are horizontal lines that meets at the North Pole and the South Pole, whereas these parallel lines, they do not meet anywhere. So just see this picture, the globe. The latitudes and longitudes are drawn on it. They intersect each other and form a network on the surface of the globe. So you can see all these lines of latitudes, the lines of longitudes, they are intersecting one another. We have done it in maths, lines of intersection. How do they intersect? Like this. Like this. So they intersect at an angle, and this angle is 90 degree. And what is this network? ये जाल जो है लाइंस का, मेरिडियंस का, इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? We call it as grid. So there is one important question. This network of lines of latitudes and longitudes, it is known as grid. So only this much you need to remember from this paragraph. We can find the location of any place on the globe with the help of grid, and we can find the location of any place with the help of these lines of latitudes and longitudes only, and that is why these lines of latitudes and longitudes are very important to find a place on the globe. As I have given you the example of New Delhi, how can you locate the place of New Delhi on the globe? Okay. To locate the exact position of any place, we should know its position in terms of latitudes and longitudes. So just if you want to find any place on the globe, you first need to know its latitudes and longitudes. How many degrees latitudes it is located on, and how many degrees longitude it is located on. So if you know the latitudes and longitudes of the place, then you can easily locate a place on the globe. Okay. Just before we proceed, we have some multiple choice questions on this page. So let us quickly do that. The word frigid means hot, wet or cold. So it is cold. Option number B. The places that remain frozen throughout the year come in the dash zone. Now the places that are remain frozen throughout the year, they come in the temperate zone, torrid zone or frigid zone. So as the name suggests, frigid, frozen, so it is frigid zone, and it is option number C according to you. So do this multiple choice questions here in the book. Okay, now look at the location of New Delhi on the globe. The latitude of New Delhi is 28.38 degree north, and its longitude is, so they have given you the example of New Delhi itself. So they have given you the lines of degrees of latitudes and longitudes. It is 28.38 degree north and its longitude is, so this is the degree of latitude and longitude, it is 77.12 degrees east. So this is the degree of longitude. So if you know the latitudes and longitudes, now point of intersection of this and this latitude and longitude, at the point of intersection, so where this intersection is there of these degrees of the lines and longitude, at this place you have your New Delhi on the globe. तो जहाँ पर ये लाइन इंटरसेक्ट करती हैं एक दूसरे को, लाइंस ऑफ लैटिट्यूड एंड लॉन्गिट्यूड, ग्लोब पर इतनी डिग्रीज जो उन्होंने मेंशन की है, वहाँ पे आपको क्या मिलेगा, योर प्लेस ऑफ न्यू दिल्ली. So let us see. So as you can see in this grid, just see the degrees of latitudes and longitudes as they have given you the degrees of latitudes of New Delhi and longitudes. So wherever they intersect, there you will find the place of New Delhi. So this I have already explained in the video. You can even refer to the video again. So then we have longitude and time. So let us see this. What we are given in this. We calculate the time according to the position of the sun. So how do we calculate time? We calculate the time looking at the position of the sun, whether it is above our head or whether it is just far away from our head. So according to that, based on that, we calculate the time. Now it is also necessary how we calculate the time. We have learned how to locate a place on the globe, how we can find it. But then how we will calculate the time, what time actually is. We should know of that also. So how can we do that? Please underline. The position of the sun and the earth keeps on changing due to the rotation of the earth. We all know that earth keeps on rotating on its axis, and due to this rotation of the earth, there is change in the time. So the earth and the sun keeps on changing due to the rotation, and one rotation of the earth upon its axis gives us the measure of the day. So how many hours earth needs to complete one revolution? We all know it takes 24 hours. This means 1 day is required for the earth to complete one rotation in a day around the sun. So it is 24 hours in a day. So due to the rotation of the earth, the sun appears to move across the sky from east to west. And how does the sun move in the sky? It moves from east to west. So this is east, this is west, so it keeps on moving like this. So it keeps on moving like this from east to west. But actually the earth rotates from west to east direction and completes one circle which has 360 degrees. Please underline. Sun rotates from east to west, whereas our earth, it rotates from west to east, and it takes 24 hours to complete 1 degree, 360 degrees of longitude. So please underline, earth rotates through 360 degree of longitudes in about 24 hours, or it means 1 day. So therefore our earth rotates through 15 degrees of longitudes in 1 hour and 1 degree of longitudes in 4 minutes. So it is assumed that every 15 degrees, for every 15 degree you have 1 hour. If you have to tell the time of any place that is ahead or far, we will be doing that. So if it is 15 degree, it means 1 hour. If it is 30 degree, another 15 degrees added, so 2 hours ahead or back. If it is 45 degrees, then it is 3 hours ahead. So this way it goes on, plus 4 hours and this way. So it is, this means 15 degrees refers to 1 hour. So this way you can calculate the time, whether the place is in the east. And let me tell you one important fact, that the places that are located on the east part, they are always 1 hour ahead of the places that are located in the west part. So since they receive the sun rays first in the eastern part, we all know sun rises in the east. So it is that the east places, they will be 1 hour ahead. So if it is a time of 11 AM in the western region, so what will be the time in the eastern part? It will be 12 noon. So if it is 12 noon in the eastern part, what will be the time in the western part? They move backward. So it is 12 noon in the east, so it will be 11 AM in the west. West move backward, east move 1 hour ahead. But then there is a difference of only 1 hour after every 15 degrees. So this much you need to remember. So this means I have already explained 15 degrees is equal to 1 hour, and you need to remember in the east we are 1 hour ahead and in the west we are 1 hour back. Okay. When the sun shines exactly overhead or is at the highest point in the sky, it is midday or 12 noon at the meridian. So this line of meridian, it is assumed that the sun is above our head and it is always assumed to be 12 noon here. So at the line of prime meridian, it is always assumed to be noon because we assume that the sun is above our head at this time and it is always 12 noon. Now one more important question here. The word meridian is derived from the Latin word. From where does this meridian word come from? From meridianus, which means midday. AM stands, please, one important question. AM stands for anti-meridian, which means before noon. That is, before 12 o'clock we always mention AM, that is anti-meridian, and after noon we always mention PM, after 12 noon. So what is it? Post meridian. So short forms are given, AM and PM. You can be asked what is the full form of AM and PM. So you will learn it from here. Please underline and mark it as objective question. And the word meridian comes from where? The origin is from the Latin word, that is meridianus, which means midday. So from here we have derived this word meridian. So that's all for today. I don't want you to get mixed up. We'll be dealing with the other left out portion in the coming videos. So just revise whatever we have learned about the 3 hood zones, and we have learned about what is grid, then the lines of intersection, how you can locate a place where the lines and the longitudes intersect each other at the globe. From there we can know the place. If you know the latitudes and longitudes of the particular place, then what we have done, we have done that 1 hour ahead we are in the east and 1 hour back we are in the west, and then 15 degrees it represents 1 hour if we need to calculate the time. And heat zones I have already told you, and this line of prime meridian, it is also known as Greenwich, which is a place in London, UK, and then it is assumed as this meridian is 12 noon in the midday when the sun is just above our head. And then we have learned what is the time taken by the earth to complete one rotation around the sun. It is 360 degrees, and it is 15 degrees is assumed to be 1 hour. So this much is to be learned by you, and we have learned that the sun rotates from east to west and the earth rotates from west to east. So this much you need to know. So please revise whatever we have learned today with the small short questions that are there in that also I have asked you to mark the total kilometers that are there at the meridian at the equator, that is 111 kilometer maximum. How many total meridians are there, how many total longitudes are there. So all this we have done, and please learn it also and just go through it once so that the concept is clear to you all and you don't make any mistakes. So see you in the next video, but before that you have to revise whatever we have covered till today. So I hope you will do your work. So see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay.